topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show. We are here normally in sunny Florida. We are having monsoon rain down here, so we're kind of piecemealing things together. Today's going to be a great show, though. We're going to be talking about mortgages, and I think actually I'm going to have to give this a try. I think actually we're going to be able to get on the air. I just saw where we might be coming back on, so I'm going to give it a try to my producer, but I want to say hello to Jackie. She's our expert.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
I hear you great. I don't see you on the screen like we usually do, but I can hear you just fine.
Well, that might be getting ready to change, Jackie. First of all, let me just tell everybody, today's show is brought to you by Dr. Vivek Gupta. He is a weight loss doctor who started off as an internist. The name of his practice is Mindful Weight Loss. His phone number is 310-220-4543. I want to introduce you now to Jackie Barakan, my lender, Jackie. I love that. 949-600-0944. And we are going to be asking Jackie questions today. And by the way, next month, when Jackie is on with you, we are going to start taking your questions over the next 3 to 4 weeks, which we will be presenting to Jackie next month's show. But first of all, Jackie, tell everybody about your company.
Oh, great. Thank you for asking, Steve. We are mortgage brokers. We've been in the business for close to 30 years now. We love all types of mortgage loans. We have experience with everything from your A-paper perfect borrowers with W-2s and pay stubs. And we also specialize in our self-employed borrowers, which are people that maybe don't show everything on their tax returns, but they have really nice bank statements that we can verify their income with. And we do a lot of those types of loan programs. That's what we spoke about last time. And then we also have a really wonderful program for property investors. And it's a terrific program that I'd love to tell you more about that.
Well, we have
got you
on the air again. Okay. I think we're all set again.
We made it.
Yeah, I think you're going to hear some major thunder, but it's okay though.
Okay, and, stay safe.
Yeah, it's a bad one here today. So we're going to be talking about cash flow and how does cash flow secure home loans for investors. And I know you've got tons of investors out there in California. Is it still, I know for a while there were so many investors who were buying houses like crazy. Is it still the same, Jackie?
I think the market is the market, right? So, I mean, we're staying really busy. We have lots of investors, and this cash flow program that we have is very special because it enables people to streamline the process a little bit more. The bank statement loan that we talked about last time uses bank statements to prove income. For this cash flow program, it's just strictly based upon the rental income of the property. and we verify no income other than just the rental income of the property and the amount of, we verify the rent that that property receives. So it's kind of like a commercial loan a little bit, but on a smaller scale.
Can you explain the key features and the benefits on how this loan program works?
Sure. It's again very streamlined. It's based upon the market rent. We basically are looking at the credit score of the borrower. So FICO is important. So you got to show that you can pay your bills on time. We're looking at minimum credit scores of probably 640 plus. Obviously, the higher your credit score, the better the interest rate is going to be. But that's the foundation of the program is the amount of the rent on the building or house, up 1 to 4 units typically, how much rent that property receives. As long as we can keep your mortgage payment around that same payment or less, it qualifies. So no tax returns, no W-2s, no bank statements. Very simple, very streamlined.
Oh, that's nice. So are there any other kind of qualifications you need to meet in order to be eligible for this cash flow home loan?
The qualifications are, the credit is important. That's one of the steps. We're looking to see if they have, if they're purchasing the property, they want to look at assets. So how much money do they have in the bank as a backup? If it's a cash out refinance, you can use the cash out that you're getting on the refinance as your assets, but assets are important, credit is important, and then your housing history is important. And that means they want to see that you've been able to pay other mortgage companies on time or in a timely manner. So if you're like a first-time home buyer and you've never purchased or never owned a home before, this is not really the right program for you. It's not for first-time home buyers. But if you've owned a home in the past and you're looking to purchase up your first investment property, it could work. Or if you own many investment properties and you're looking to pull cash out or buy another investment property, it would be perfect.
Well, how now do you deal with a lot of people that are overseas?
Oh, we do have a few. We do. We have I-10 programs and we have foreign national programs, and those could be a good candidate for this program. Sure.
So credit score is important, income's important. I guess existing debts and
income's not important. Remember, income's not important. We don't look at tax returns. We don't look at bank statements. It's strictly rental income. Rental income is important. So looking at how much does this property derive in income. And this can be done now in this market that we're in. I mean, you can have a single family home that's on the beach, let's just say in Florida or here in California, and it rents out for $5,000 a month. As long as we can produce a new loan that keeps the payment under the $5,000, it qualifies. But there's also a lot of Airbnb information, and we have some new programs now that will allow us to use the Airbnb income, which can net a lot more, obviously, if you have a house on the beach. So it's multiple ways to prove it, but the way we're proving the income is strictly based upon the amount of rent that specific property is deriving, and that's it. The tax returns aren't needed. W-2s aren't needed. It's just the rent.
One of the things that I've learned about you, Jackie, is you're very creative and you know everything that's going on out there when it comes to mortgages. And that's really important when you choose someone, because you don't want to miss something that's out there just because your lender didn't know about it.
This is a good one. I'm glad that you said that, Stephen, that you noticed that. I think being in the industry for 30 years or almost 30 years helps us to be creative and helps us to have the knowledge. And then being a specialist in these non-QM loans or non-qualified mortgage loans, that's what that stands for, is important because we've worked with so many homeowners. We know how to structure these loans properly. I think it's important. A lot of people are really good at doing a regular conventional A-paper loan, and those require a lot of expertise as well. But this type of loan, I like to say it's a whole different animal. It requires and the investors that buy these products, and they're mostly your Wall Street people, your hedge funds, your insurance companies, they have specific rules and guidelines, and every single one of these banks have slightly different rules and guidelines. So learning how they work and understanding these loans, you really want to work with an expert that knows how to handle a cash flow loan or how to handle a bank statement loan, because if they don't have experience, you might not get your loan because they don't know how to structure it properly, and they don't have to have that creativity sometimes. Not that we're doing any bending of rules, but we need to know how to structure it properly so the investors see it in a certain way that they like it, and then they'll want to purchase it, and then the loan closes. But yeah, we try.
We just got our first text from a listener wanting to know, do you only work in a certain part of town, or do you cover the entire Southern California area?
We can do these cash flow loans all over the United States with just a few exceptions. Of course, we are licensed in the state of California, but for the cash flow program, we can do that in almost every state.
Okay, I think that answered their question. Let's talk about typical terms and conditions, that are associated with the cash flow.
Traditionally, the terms and conditions for a bank statement loan or an investor cash flow loan are very similar to any A-paper or conventional loan. There's 30-year fixed. If you're interested in adjustable rates, there are some 5/1 ARMs and 10/1 ARMs. A lot of our investors like the interest-only option, which allows them to pay just the interest of the mortgage loan for the first 10 years, which keeps the mortgage payment a little bit lower. And then after the 10 years is up, it converts to a 30-year fixed. So it's safe. There's not going to be any gotchas or, interest rate going sky high or anything like that. But they're traditional mortgage loans, traditionally 30-year fixed or maybe interest-only options. And then I will say this, in the current market that we're in, we'll say June of 2023, interest rates are a little high right now. So more than likely, if you're doing a loan right now and you need cash out, that's great. We're doing that for a lot of our investors, but you'll probably be refinancing it in another year or two when the interest rates get better.
Jackie, can you explain the process of applying for these cash flow investor loans again? Like
sure.
Documentation, information. Do you need to
the process is really simple. Like any mortgage loan, we're going to gather, a basic application on you, which is your name and your date of birth and your social and your address and where you live. But that's about where it cuts off. We're not going to get into the income documentation piece. We're not going to get into your job information. We're not going to get into all the millions of other things that they ask for on a loan application. So pretty much we're going to be able to pull credit. We're going to look at the property. We're going to look at the equity position in that property. So we're going to pull public records. We're going to look at how much the house is worth or what we think the estimated value is, so we can determine if your purchase price is correct and if you're paying too much or whatever. We'll help you with those sort of things. If it's an investment property and you're looking to pull cash out, we're looking to see your equity position and how much cash that you can pull. We'll show you different interest rates based upon different amounts of cash out. But pretty simple. It's streamlined. That's the best word I can tell you. Streamlined, much easier. Interest rates are a smidge higher than a conventional loan, but for most folks that do this loan product, they do it because they probably wouldn't qualify with their tax returns and their W-2s and pay stubs. Because if you own investment properties, your CPAs teach you how you can write off things. They're like, oh, your property was not rented for 2 months, so we're going to write that off. And oh, you did some fixing and repairing on that property, so we're going to write off all of those repairs that you did. So sometimes those tax returns, your net number is much smaller than what you maybe actually brought in. And an A-paper loan, if you don't have the right numbers, it doesn't quite fit, then it's not going to qualify. And it's sometimes much more detail oriented. And especially if you own many properties, like for people that own, 10, 20, 30 properties, getting an A-paper loan is just not fun, Streamline is better sometimes, even for a slightly higher interest rate is worth it.
So how do they demonstrate the rental income for the cash flow secure home loan?
Okay, great question. When we do an appraisal on a property, because every home loan that you're going to get, whether it's a paper or bank statement or cash flow, they're going to do an appraisal. The appraisal determines the value of the property based upon the other sales in the area of other homes that are similar to that home. So that's step one of an appraisal, is how you determine the value of the property. There's a second piece on these investor loans. It's called a 1007. And a 1007 is looking at the market rent. So if you are a home that's 4 bedrooms and 3 baths, and you're in, Orange County, Florida, or Orange County, California, and that average rent is $5,000 a month, they're going to look for other houses in that same neighborhood that are renting for around the same price. And on this 1007, they're going to give examples. Oh, here's a house down the street from you. This one just rented out for $4,500. Here's one down the street over here that just rented out for $6,000. So they're going to come up with an average of what the general rent should be for that property. And that's how they determine what kind of a loan you can get based upon that number.
What is, are rental properties still going up, Jackie? Or have they leveled out yet?
I'm seeing, property values seem to be holding steady. I think real estate is very, very regional. It depends city by city, county by county, state by state. Overall here in California, values are holding steady. There's hardly any inventory on the market. There's still a lot of demand.
Wow.
I'm still seeing people overbidding on properties and things like that. So we're still holding value. We're doing great. We're doing great.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because all we hear down here in Florida is, oh, everybody's moving out of California. They're moving to Texas and Arizona. But it doesn't really sound like that's the case.
There are people moving. I've had a lot of people that are moving, but we're still staying busy, especially with these types of products. So, cash flow is great for our investors. Bank statements are great for our self-employed people. And at the end of the day, we're not going to put you in anything that's not going to benefit you, that's not going to put you in a position where, you're safe and you can make your mortgage payment on time. So, yeah.
What are some of the hot areas in Southern California now?
Hot areas. I think Long Beach has a lot of potential for growth. It needs work, but we're seeing, a lot of money flowing into that area. And I believe that area is going to be the next hot thing. I remember downtown San Diego many, many years ago when it wasn't so nice. And now downtown San Diego is incredible. There's just all these beautiful high rises, and properties are building and growing. Of course, Orange County, where I'm at, is amazing. Can't go wrong here. We're just in a little bubble. Super nice.
It's funny. Orange County is where all my friends live.
Yeah.
There's hardly anyone in Southern California anymore. I mean, in the Los Angeles area, they're all in Orange County, which is
LA's a little rough right now. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. I hope they can figure out the homeless situation and figure out how we're going to help these people, because it's kind of sad.
Jackie, I want people to, you never know when you're going to be selling or if you're going to be buying. I want people to write your phone number down, and I want them to have that in a place where they can get to it. Give everybody your phone number.
My direct line is 949-600-0944, or you can always go to my website, mylenderjackie.com, and you can contact me various ways on there. Steve, are we almost done? Because I wanted to bring up something else. I wanted to give you a story, an example of
I would love one.
Okay, good. Let's tell you a little story. So let's just say you own properties. You have, a single family residence that you live in, and you own, maybe a couple of other rental properties, and you wanted to add another rental property to your portfolio, let's just say. This program is perfect for you, and I'll tell you how it would work. You can pull cash out of one of your rental properties that you own already, and then use the money from that property to put as the down payment on the next investment property. So it's a beautiful thing. And again, it's streamlined, it's simple. And these loans close in less than 30 days. And I think it's a terrific program for people that are looking to own and invest in real estate as investors. It's something you should know about. And a lot of people don't know about it. So I'm glad we were able to talk about it today.
Is that a fairly new program, Jackie?
It's relatively new. I would say probably the last few years it kind of came into play, and it's become more and more popular now. So,
well, it's just more ammunition for you, more things in your little bag. I love that because, you can offer somebody a lot of different ways to get financing. And I think that's perfect, especially for someone who's a new home buyer, that they're not shot out of the saddle right away, and that you have a lot of ways that you can help them with their home loan.
Absolutely. First-time home buyers, we love them because they always have a lot of questions and they need a lot of hand holding, and we love to hold their hands. And we can start, by looking at their tax returns and W-2s. And if we can make it work with an FHA loan or a conventional loan, of course, we'll do that. And that's going to be the best case scenario. And they're going to have the best interest rate with that type of a product. But let's just say they don't have quite the income, or they're the kind of person that's got a little 1099 income and stuff that's not being reported, or they have income, but it just doesn't show up on the tax returns. That would be a person that we could easily pivot and move over into doing a bank statement loan. These investor loan programs that we just talked about, that's not really for first-time home buyers, but
right.
That's okay.
Well,
we have other products too we can talk about another day. We have some no-doc products too.
Oh, nice.
We'll bring that up next time, maybe.
I want to, do you have a website address, Jackie?
I do, www.mylenderjackie.com. And then to get an appointment to talk to me, you can go to talkwithjackie.com and set up an appointment right there, and you'll get 20 minutes with me personally. And I'm happy to answer any question that you might have about mortgage loans. We'll do our best to help you.
Jackie's company is My Lender Jackie, of course. MyLenderJackie.com. Her phone number is 949-600-0944. And I got to tell you, this is only Jackie's second show with us. She will be back with us again next month. And if you've got a friend, a relative that are getting ready to purchase a home, you've got a great name to give them when it comes to mortgage brokers. So, Jackie, we're glad we have you. I hope the weather is much better there than it is here. But we will see you again next month on the Ask the Expert show.
Thank you, Steve. I hope you stay safe out there.
Thank you. That's Jackie. She's an incredible mortgage broker. And that's what we have on this show. This is not an info commercial. What we want to do is we want to educate you, find the best of the best out there, and know that they will take care of you. That's the end of today's show. We will be back again with you next week with more Ask the Experts. Stay dry. We'll see you again soon next week.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.